The moment the evidence dropped, a storm quietly gathered around Oscar Piastri, the rising star of Formula One whose title hopes looked so solid just weeks ago. Now, the cracks are visible, and the voices of caution are getting louder. This is a real life-breaking story about pressure, expectation, and a driver who is suddenly on the back foot. He started the season strong. Leading the Drivers' Championship for over 6 months, Piastri seemed untouchable. Then came the weekend of the 2025 Mexico City Grand Prix, where everything shifted. His teammate, Lando Norris, delivered a dominant victory. Piastri qualified 7th, fought hard through the race, made a daring move on George Russell at turn 1 and finished 5th. It was decent, but not dominant. And the lead? Gone. He now trails Norris by a single point heading into the final 4 races. The real story. The issue isn't just the points, it's the why. Why did Oscar slip? Why, in a car many believed could win the title for him, is he struggling? According to the 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve, the answer lies not in the engine, not in the tires, but in mindset and comfort. He said, "He doesn't seem to be comfortable in his car. He seems to be driving very tight, not relaxed, and you see he is very notchy with his wheel." Villeneuve puts it plainly. If he's a little bit stressed and drives tight, not comfortable, not smooth and soft, that will take away a little bit as well, and he will never find the balance in the car. So that's the big issue. He needs to get back into a comfortable, calm zone. There's proof. In Mexico, he said, "I feel like I've done some decent laps through the weekend, but everything seems to be about 4 or 5 tenths off, so that's obviously not a great sign. Ultimately, just a bit frustrated with how the session has gone." Contrast that with Norris, who felt comfortable, with continuity, clarity, and confidence in the car. That gap in pace, especially when your teammate's driving the same car, is massive, and the evidence stacks up. Villeneuve noted that this change of pace started in Baku, in Singapore, and carried through Austin. The moment seemed to fade for Piastri. What was once seemingly the smooth ascension of a future world champion now looks like the sneaky erosion of something fragile. Pressure is creeping in, past the point of simple challenge. Now the threat is fatigue, expectation, mindset. As Villeneuve said, it's not the right time to have low form. The drivers are tired. The season is long. Let's rewind slightly. Just before the Mexico Grand Prix, Piastri held a healthy lead. But Norris, hungry, consistent, started to click. Meanwhile, the return of Max Verstappen loomed. Ready to pounce. For Team McLaren, the message was clear. We still have a car that can win, and yes, the title is still alive. Team principal Andrea Stella said, "The confidence in terms of the championship has increased, because we have proven that we have a car that can win races, and, in some conditions, can dominate races. But that is not the same as saying every driver is in the right place to win." Here emerges the big wave of revelation. Piastri isn't just losing pace, he's losing rhythm. The evidence shows 2 things. First, the gap to Norris is growing. Second, his driving style has altered. He admitted the last couple of weekends has required a very different way of driving compared to most of the season to date. So he's aware, he's trying to fix it. But awareness and adaptation don't always come quickly, especially when the championship is on the line. The drama deepens. Think about this. When you're ahead, you can afford a little margin, maybe adjust, learn, recover. But when you're on the edge, every tenth matters. Villeneuve warned that Piastri's mental and physical energy may be waning. When you have a problem like this earlier in the season, you are full of energy. Now you don't. You're just grueling, tired, and it's tough. So this isn't only about setup, pace, or car. It's about endurance. It's about staying sharp when the body says, "I'm done." So what do we have? We have a driver who looked dominant, suddenly being questioned. A teammate gaining strength. A car capable of winning, but needing its driver to be sharp. A legend, Villeneuve, pointing out the shift in style. Tight, not relaxed, not smooth. We have Piastri himself admitting things feel decent laps. Everything seems to be about 4 or 5 tenths off. And we have the looming spectre of 4 races left in the season, which means no room for error. Piastri is no longer just battling his teammate Lando Norris. He's battling his mindset, his comfort, his rhythm. And yes, he's battling the return of Max Verstappen. Now let's go deeper into the core of this turning point, the unseen battle happening not just on the track, but inside the McLaren garage, behind closed doors, and inside Oscar Piastri's own head. Andrea Stella, McLaren's team boss, isn't hitting the panic button. In fact, he's doubling down. After Norris crushed the competition in Mexico, Stella said something striking. Even if he lost some points to Verstappen, I think Oscar has got a lot of learning from this weekend. And that's sort of an investment that you make to make sure that you are competitive in every condition in the final part of the season. An investment. That word matters. It tells us Stella sees value in the struggle. That what Piastri is going through right now, the dip in pace, the unfamiliar driving style, the slip in standings, is part of a long game. A test. But the problem with tests in Formula 1, you don't get retakes, especially when Max Verstappen is closing in fast. Remember, this isn't just about Lando versus Oscar anymore. Verstappen is now 36 points behind with 4 races to go after clawing his way to 3rd in Mexico. Quietly, efficiently, dangerously. Just as Stella warned back in Baku, Max was never truly out of it. McLaren knew it, and now they're facing the reality. But here's the contradiction. McLaren has finally built a car that can win consistently. The MCL 39 has been a beast, dominant in the right hands, nearly untouchable on its day. And yet, the team is watching one of its most promising drivers fight to find rhythm in that same machine. So the car is not the question anymore. The question is, can Piastri unlock it again? Lando Norris certainly has. Behind the scenes, he's been working relentlessly with his engineers, tweaking setups, refining every inch of his weekend execution. That commitment is starting to show, not just in lap times, but in race domination. He's leading, he's confident, and crucially, he's driving with joy. That matters. Meanwhile, Piastri is working hard, but his tone is different. More analytical, more controlled. After Mexico, he said, "I feel like I've done some decent laps, just a bit frustrated with how the session has gone." It's not panic, but it's not peace either. And that tension could be the very thing holding him back. It's no wonder conspiracy theories are swirling in F1 fan circles. When a driver suddenly loses performance while their teammate thrives, in the same car, questions start to bubble. Is it just driving style? Is the team unconsciously favoring Norris? Is something being missed in setup translation? Oscar himself hasn't hinted at foul play, but he has requested more analysis behind the scenes. That alone speaks volumes. What happens next is everything, because the final 4 races are unforgiving. Brazil, Las Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. Each one brings unique conditions, different demands. And as Stella said, there's no reason to think that one circuit may favor one driver or the other. So it's not about the track anymore, it's about who shows up ready. There's a beautiful irony here. The season started with everyone asking, can Lando Norris finally beat Oscar Piastri? But now, the script has flipped. Piastri, the early title leader, the smooth operator, is the one who needs to prove he can outfight his teammate when it matters most. And in Formula 1, timing is everything. You can be brilliant for 20 races, but if you lose your edge in the final 4, that's all anyone will remember. So now, fans are left asking, can Piastri reclaim his comfort zone? Can he get back to driving smooth and soft, as Villeneuve advised? Can he stop overthinking and start attacking again? Because the window is closing, fast. Verstappen is hunting. Norris is peaking. The car is there. The question is Oscar? Maybe this is the crucible every great champion must go through. The moment where doubt creeps in, and only self-belief can fight it back. Maybe this is Piastri's fire, the one that will either burn him out or forge him into a world champion. Your move, Oscar. So, what do you think? Is this just a temporary dip, or has Piastri lost his grip at the worst possible time? Let us know your take in the comments, because this story is far from over.